Hi guys, this is me Gayatri Akil and welcome to my page. എല്ലാവർക്കും എൻ്റെ പേജിലോട്ട് സ്വാഗതം. So here I would like to discuss with you all about few updates regarding 2023 OET writing. Okay, so what's it? First thing is regarding the date. So usually we will write the dates in a very different way. Sometimes we used to write in the letter format, like for example in the numerical form, or we can write it sometimes we write it like date, like the month will be writing in the sentence, like for example 1st of May 2023, like that. Or sometimes 1st of like 1/01/05/2023, like that. So in which way you want to write it, just follow the same way throughout the entire letter. Because if you're writing on the top of the paper, for example 23rd April 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 2023, if you have written the same way when you're writing the present medical history paragraph also, just write it. So what is the date the patient got admitted, write it in the word formation, and the discharge date also in the word formation. So throughout the letter, please use the same format rather than using in a different way. For example, two types only we are writing, one is in a numerical, another one is in the word formation. So the choice is yours. So when you are writing the date from the beginning itself, like today's date, you will be writing in the writing on the top of the paper, right? So there itself you have to be very careful. So which date, which way you are writing, please follow the same format throughout the letter. So this is the tip number 1, and this is the first update in the OET writing. And second thing, when you are writing an address, the receiving person address, who is receiving our letter, that is person is called it as a receiver. That person address only will be writing. It is called it as a to address also, another way. So when you are writing the to address, main thing is focus on your punctuations. Don't use any comma, full stop, apostrophe, nothing. It has to be a plain address. And always remember, if they have given the name of the addressing person, please use the title and write the name of the addressing person. In case sometimes they won't give, so if it is a male, better to write Mr. If it is a female, Miss Bar MRS, and write the name of that one. Okay, that will be the safest zone. And in case if they're not given the name of the addressing person, please try to start the address always with the the nurse manager, the administrative officer, the physiotherapist, the doctor, the director of nursing. So likewise, always start with the D if they don't give the name of the addressing person. Another thing you have to focus is, when you are writing an address, the first word of the each letter should be capital letter throughout the address. Okay, so no punctuation, it should be a plain address. And if they have given the name, please use the title before the name. If they not given the name in the address, use the before you write that, before you start the name, start the designation of the addressing person. And also the first letter of the each word should be capital letter. For example, director of nursing, director D capital, of O capital, nursing N capital. It should be throughout the letter, it should be step by step. So these things has to be keep in mind when you are writing address in OET letter. Okay, and this is tip number 2. And tip number 3, the updation number 3, which means when you are writing the dear sir or madam, right? Or when you're writing dear Miss Catty, dear Miss Mary, or dear doctor. So whenever you're writing the salutation, right? So in that, it is not mandatory to put comma, not necessary at all. So nowadays it's not necessary. It is a new updation. So dear doctor, a simple way, a plain way. You no need to use any punctuations, comma, quotation, nothing is necessary there. So you can just write dear doctor, dear community nurse, or dear nurse, dear sir, madam. So likewise you can write it. And then coming to the point of introduction. So in the introduction, usually when we write an introduction, I'm writing to refer and thank you for accepting my so-and-so patient. I'm writing to informing you about this one. Or you are just writing, I'm writing to update the current condition of, like that. You are starting in a very different way. The choice is yours. There is no format for writing an introduction. But most of the time we used to write who is recovering from, who has been diagnosed with, who was diagnosed with, who has been undergone. Or else you will be write who has undergone, who underwent. So that the who will be writing to write a purpose, either nor we are using the who for writing the patient diagnosis. So before we were using Before we were just put comma before who, but now it is not necessary. So we can just write it in a very simple way. So you can just, I'm writing to refer, or just you can start with a name also, Mr. X, who underwent total knee replacement surgery on so and so date, full stop, and he requires your post-operative management, care and management. So here before who, it is not necessary to put comma. And second most important thing to notify in your introduction, try not to use any connectors in your introduction. It's mainly as, because it is not a good thing to use the connectors in your introduction. Your introduction should be free from the connectors, and it should be a very simple way. So that is the best way of writing your introduction. Okay, now coming to the point of present medical history paragraph, again I'm saying what way you have written on the top of the paper there, today's date in the letter. So the same date, same format, it is better to use it. If you start with a numerical, write the numerical way throughout the letter. If you start with the word formation, just write it in the word formation. But better not to use different way of, like the date of admission, mainly date of discharge and date of the surgery. So these things, the date of procedure, so that has to be followed in the same format. Okay, and then coming to the social background paragraph, if you are writing a letter to a known person, it is good to skip the social background. It is better not to write a social background, because the patient already seen by the same person, or the patient already known by that person, and the patient is getting discharged, or patient is referred to the same person, means they know already about the patient past medical history, medication history, about his social background, what it is, how it is. But the person does not know what is the current situation of the patient. So in that situation, better to skip completely social background of the patient, and you can elaborate as much as possible of the present medical history of your patient. So that present medical history can be divided into 2 paragraphs, and you can elaborately write all the information regarding your patient which the receiver must know about your patient. Okay, and coming to the connectors. So whenever you are using the connectors, you will be confused. Where should I put comma, quotations and everything, right? Punctuations. So here, before you have to put comma, which before which. So the WH formation, for which and which, for these two things you have to put comma before, not after. But however, therefore, even though, although, and you can use therefore. So this all the informations, all the connectors before and after, you have to put comma. This is the new updations. So therefore, and however, even though, although, these all the connectors before and after, we can use the comma. And you can use the comma only before, which means it is which, WH formation, WHICH, which, and for which. In this two, we have to put comma before, not after. So just make a note of it. Okay, and then another thing is like better not to use moreover, furthermore, and also hence, beside, because these words are better not to use recurrently. Even if you're using one time, that's fine, but not to use more. Also, when you're writing the connectors, that connector should be used only one time. For example, if you use anywhere therefore, please try not to use again and again throughout the letter therefore. You can go with for which, or else you can go for consequently. Like that you can use it as a result of that. So these all are words, that different words can be used, rather than just you are repeating the same word, because that all will be reducing your mark, and the punctuations also will reduce your mark. So that's why I'm again saying for which and which. In this you can use the comma before but not after. But however, although, even though, therefore, in this before and after you can put comma when you're using the connectors, when you're writing the present medical history paragraph, a social background, recommendation paragraph. Mainly in the recommendation paragraph, try not to use the connectors. Along same like in the introduction, how we are following. Okay, so when you are writing in the recommendation paragraph here, one thing we have to keep it in our mind. So nowadays we are using the words like the phrases like, it would be greatly appreciated if you could, it would be highly beneficial if you could, most importantly. So these and all words are good, but when you're writing it would be greatly, so that word is not necessary, because they are nowadays saying it is better not to write that word. You can just go, it would be highly appreciable, it would be highly appreciated, it would be beneficial. So like that you can go, rather than writing greatly. So better try not to use that word in your recommendation paragraph. And coming to the conclusion, a simple way, better not to write. They are asking like why you want to waste your time of word count base writing in the conclusion, like please do not hesitate to contact me, I'm here to help you out. So this is not necessary. Just make it in a very simple way. Please contact me, or kindly contact me for further details. That is more than enough. So they want very simple in a very elegant way, not a lengthy sentence of wasting the time as well as word count. So in that situation, you can use this word count in some other important paragraph. For example, present medical history paragraph, recommendation paragraph, or social background paragraph. Okay. So now the again salutation. While we are winding up, we used to write yours sincerely, yours faithfully, right? So the addressing person name has given. You will be completing the letter with the yours sincerely. So here we used to put comma before after sincerely, right? So that is not mandatory now. And also yours is a one word, not a apostrophe s. YOURS is a one word. So now yours sincerely and after sincerely finished. It is not mandatory to put comma. Just you can write it in a very plain way. So these all are the updation which happened in 2023 OET writing. I hope this video will be helpful for everyone who is preparing for their exam and who is planning to study OET. So whomever wants to participate in our class, our number has given in our description. You can contact us at any time and we are here to help you out for your online OET coaching. And also we have 40 days, 60 days, 20 days, 10 days mock batches, and also we have crash course, and also we have a beginners class, 60 days classes, and one day writing and speaking classes, or writing alone classes, or speaking alone classes. So these classes are running in online. So whomever wants to join, you can contact us at any time. So until then, bye bye.